Hello, welcome to Rayas Paradise podcast. Good morning. I have with me Moti Gambert, our CEO, and I'm Monica Westfall, Chief Operating Officer. Moti, I understand that but as of May 1st, 2021, we are celebrating 30 years of Rayas Paradise.
Good morning. Yes, this May 1st actually falls on a Saturday. So yeah, it will be actually 30 years.
Wow, congratulations to you and to Miss Raya.
Yes, thank you.
So I'm curious. I always like to know stories and how things got started. Can you tell me and our listeners how Rayas Paradise got started 30 years ago?
Yeah, so, I came to the United States with my mom, my brother, my sister, and my mom brought her mom, which is my grandma. My mom was a nurse back in Israel, and she was working here as a caregiver. And somebody told her, "Listen, Raya, if you can take care of one old lady, why don't you take care of 6 old ladies?" So she says, "What does that mean?" And she said, "Well, let me show you." So this caregiver who she met at work, she used to work at a Shalom. There's on Hayworth and Beverly. She met a lady there who was also a caregiver, and she said, "I know somebody who has now we know it's called boarding care. I have a friend," she said, that she has a boarding care facility in the valley, and she caters to 6 residents." And my mom says, "What kind of Mickey Mouse business is that?" She said, "Well, why don't you just come see it?" Well, she did. And she fell in love with it. She says, "Yeah, if I can take care of one lady, why can't I take care of 6 ladies?" Well, that's how it started. In 1990, my mom started to look for property. She found a property, and the first property that she opened, May 1st, 1991, was the one at 825 Larrabee Street. It's still in operation. It's actually still running, as you know.
Right.
And it was tough. First of all, my mom's English back then was very broken. Still is, but back then it was even worse. She did everything. She did marketing, the cleaning, the caregiving, the cooking, the feeding, the changing, the day shift, the night shift, the weekend shift, you name it, 24/7. And then she was really, really inexpensive. Now, let me tell you what's inexpensive. Because she was desperate, she would charge people $1,600 a month, all inclusive.
Oh, wow.
So you come in just to get a client, I remember one day she got three residents.
Okay.
Then the 4th one came, and she says, "Well, maybe I should just bump the price." And she did. And I remember, I don't remember if it was the 4th or 5th resident, but I remember that when she sold the room for $2,500, it was like a celebration, because it was, from $1,600 or $1,800 to $2,500, that's a big jump.
Yeah.
She got so excited. I remember she came home, and at that time she hired a help.
Okay.
The lady who introduced her to the facility in the valley, she hired her to help her like a few shifts here and there so she can rest. So I remember she came home, she baked a cake, it was a celebration. She was very excited. So now her capacity is 6. 6 indicates 100%. And she was at 5, so she was almost at 100%.
Yeah.
And she was very happy. And then one day, 2 or 3 weeks later, 2 people died.
Oh no.
Like within a few days apart. And then boom, she's back to 3. So guess what? Back to 3. No more help. Back to work. So she again started to do 24/7. My brother used to come. I don't know if he was. I think it was in junior high or high school. I don't remember. I think it was junior high. And he used to come take a bus from junior high all the way to Larrabee to help her with the residents, to do some, change them or help them with whatever help she needed. I would show up once in a while as well to assist her. So it was really tough in the beginning. It was so tough that she couldn't even have insurance. You know, I mean, today obviously this is going back in 30 years. So much changed.
Right.
You know, the way people run business. This was like a true startup for a family.
And back in 1991, people didn't really place other than going to skilled nursing. If you needed care, you would go to a skilled nursing facility.
Nobody knew, so it wasn't popular. So nobody knew about what is a
No.
boarding care. I think Rayas Paradise was the first boarding care in West Hollywood. I don't think I know. It's the first boarding care facility in West Hollywood. I think it was
wow.
actually one of the first one in LA City. So this is going back when they would ask you, what do you do? And she would say, a boarding care. So what is a boarding care? And it's a six-bed facility. Then nobody heard about it, right? But that's how she started.
And did she have trouble? Because, you know, obviously back then, was there Title 22 regs? And was
Title
there...
22 regs back then was maybe 4 pages.
Oh,
And it grew from there, obviously, right? But the reason why she succeeded is because she loved it. You know, she loved to come to work, take care of the residents, feed them like she would feed her own family. When families would come, she would feed them. Like, it was like a real family, right? Actually, she spent more time there than at home. So that was her start. It was a tough one. So obviously, she got a reputation real quick because there were a lot of residents and families in the area that needed that heard about it, and they placed their loved ones there. And then she opened her second home, which is at 1156 North Gardner. And it took her a little time to fill that one as well. I don't remember as much detail about 1156 Gardner as much as I remember about 825 because that was the first one. But 825 Larrabee Street was the first one, 1156 North Gardner was the second one, and then 1533 North Stanley was the third one. Now, 1533 North Stanley opened in 1996. And then the fourth one, which was opened in 2001, was 341 North La Jolla. And that's when I stepped in. I was 2001. I think I was done with college back then. So I said, okay, I'm gonna start helping my mom, and so I got involved, like on board. This was my full-time job. And 341 North La Jolla was the fourth house. Then and then everything else came after. And until I met you. When did I meet you?
We met in 2010. And what's interesting, Monty, that you're telling the story is your mom was working at the Shalom Hotel off of Hayworth and Beverly, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where she started.
I met you.
Actually, no. She worked at Hayworth Terrace across the street from Shalom.
Okay.
But her friend worked at
the Shalom Hotel. So I met you while working at a community off at the same location that you. So we met in 2010. Mm-hmm. I was an executive director there, and you came to the location to market to market Rayas Paradise. And when I met you, Rayas Paradise had 6 locations.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were getting ready to open up
the Sierra Bonita. No,
852 Sierra Bonita.
That's right.
Because I came to that grand opening. I remember that little grand opening that you had. So, so tell me, Monty. I mean, this is obviously there's a lot more behind that you can share.
There's a lot more. We're fast forwarding.
I know, and
we're zooming through it.
And I would love. Tell me, are you ever going to write a book?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to write a book, but I was actually sometimes when I'm kind of sitting at home and kind of wondering, like through ideas as to what to do next. And I always think a book would be nice, but I think a movie to showcase a true success story for somebody who came with no papers. My mom had no papers. It was in the process of getting her green card. No English, no licenses, money. She borrowed the money. It was all done through hard work.
Right.
Literally. It was nothing like, nothing was inherited. It was so hard that she was so desperate that she actually, this is unheard of today, to have the LPA, which stands for Licensed Program Analyst from the Department of Social Services.
Yeah.
My mom had nobody that she could go on to and she said, listen, I need help with the application. Now, then again, 30 years ago, things were different.
Right.
But I remember her name was Mary. I don't remember her last name. She helped my mom fill out an application for a license. And then after she helped her, my mom submitted up the application for a facility. She got licensed. And then she referred a client to my mom.
Wow.
This is completely unheard of today, you know?
No.
So my mom always talks about her. She was an older lady. She was African American. And I think when she came to see, she saw that my mom was like, she's really trying. And she just said, I don't know, she just decided to help my mom. She did. So my mom always talks about her. She says, this lady, it's like God sent her to me. So, speaking of all of this, I think a movie, a book is always right, but putting a movie together, like to show how it started, and I would actually call it, I think it's already taken, but this is really against all odds, if you really think about it. If somebody would tell you, a lady in her mid-40s with 3 little children, no English, no papers, comes to the United States, works as a caregiver, right? Entry-level position, and starts this business and grew it to a point where it really, if I went to Vegas and somebody told me, would you put money on this? I would say, no, I'm not putting money in this. I don't believe in this. But I think hard work and believing in yourself pays off. And I think that's what happened to her. And obviously then I helped, my brother helped, and then so now fast forward to you. After I met you, started to visit you at the community that you worked at, and I realized, well, what I'm doing, it's not scalable. That's how I started to look for a community in Orange County, and that's how San Clemente came about, or it's coming about. Even though it was also a challenge on its own, dealing with the governmental agencies, with the city, with the state, and everything else, fire department, all that stuff. But that's definitely something on my to-do list. Hopefully one day.
Well, I mean, if you do a movie, you definitely have to write a script. So I think a book would be very beneficial. Like I said, in this small podcast that we're doing, just to celebrate 30 years of Rayas, that's a lot to celebrate. And there's a lot of success stories. There's a lot of challenges. There's lots of ups and downs. Lots of growth that you've gone through, even in the last 3-4 years since I've joined you. You've done a lot of growth. So, speaking of that, and I know you mentioned San Clemente. Tell our listeners a little bit about where you're going with the company. What do you envision in the next? I know you've got a lot on your mind. There's a lot that we want to do. Most importantly, making sure that we provide the best care and we change lives. So tell me, what is your future?
So the most important thing, it's not about quantity or how many buildings I have or how many beds I have. It's more about the quality.
Yeah.
When you go to a nice restaurant or a nice hotel or a nice resort, you as a guest, you don't really care, does this place has 500 rooms or 5,000 rooms? You really care more about what kind of service am I going to get, right?
Absolutely.
And I have the same belief. I'm looking at about customer service, quality of care for the residents, for the staff, the work environment to make sure it's comfortable, because if the work environment is good, then obviously they'll perform better.
Right.
So where am I taking the company, or where I would like to take the company? I would like to, after San Clemente is up and running, which you know how much emphasis and effort I put into this. I'm really involved with it.
Yeah.
The next one would be the LA campus, which is going to be very unique. It will be an acre of land in the heart of Hollywood. It will be about 75 beds.
So hold on, stop real quick. I'm going to interject here. The LA campus, I just want to clarify. So what you're doing is your 7 little homes that you've got that are all consist of between 6 and 11 beds. No, it's 7 homes. You have 7 homes.
6.
So you're going to take all of those homes and put them all on one spot, and consists of two streets. It's Gardner and Sierra Bonita, correct?
Yeah, so what happens, we have 6 parcels. And actually, we're working on the 7th one, which will complete the puzzle. If we get the 7th one, we'll have 84 beds over on a property over an acre, which is really unheard of in a residential area in Hollywood. And what we're planning to do is, I'm planning to make now. This is going to be definitely unique. It will have amenities and accommodation like no one else has. We'll have a full-blown gym, physical therapy department, 50-seat theater, outdoor theater, indoor theater. We'll have 84 suites, private suites. We'll have miniature golf. We'll have bird sanctuary. We'll have I don't even remember what we have. I mean, the plans are so large and so involved that once it's done, and hopefully it's a 2.5 year project from the moment we start, that I spoke to a few people, including my architect, that if it's going to be designed if it's going to be built the way we're designing it now, and we have the best designers, it will definitely get attention from the Architect Digest and a lot of other magazines. And that's really what I want to do. Trying to build is not something that already exists. I want to build something that doesn't exist with keeping the residents in mind, providing them a unique living experience. Not just one of those large buildings where you feels like a hotel or institution, or, I want them to feel like they live at home. They still have the outdoors, the indoors, obviously great food, cuisine, we have great chef, we have great ideas, we have, and our engagement department will get even better when we have the right facilities for it. So I'm not going to say everything, because if I'm going to sit and tell you everything we're planning to do, I'm going to be here for 2 hours. But even better so, what's going to happen once this is done, I will make sure that everybody knows about it, including city officials, all of our guests, families, co-workers, and so on and so forth. But it will be something special.
Well, this is very exciting, Moti, especially to hear how Rayas Paradise got started again 30 years ago, as of May 1st. So right now we have the San Clemente project in the works. We also have the campus of Los Angeles in the works. I know we will be celebrating the 30 years of Rayas when we open up San Clemente.
Yeah, we're running a little on the delay, so probably around end of August or.
Yeah, that's okay. It's still within the 30 years, and again, a lot to celebrate. So, one of the reasons why I joined Rayas Paradise was your vision, the passion that you and your mom carry throughout, and so it is phenomenal to hear. 30 years later, you guys are still. You're at full force trying to change lives and make a difference, and you pay attention to every detail that goes into your project. So
always the way I know if things are done right or not right is I always put myself in the residents' shoes. And if I say, okay, I can live here, I can eat here, I can spend the night here, I would love to come visit here, that means I'm doing it right. But if I see something that I would say no to myself or no to my loved ones, let's say whoever it may be, that's the point that I will work to change. And as you know, I've made a lot of changes after the fact in San Clemente, and that's why we're so over budget and time-wise, money-wise, everything. But again, it's because I looked at things and I said, well, yes, this is good, but not to my standards. And if that's not to my standards, I don't believe in this. We need to change it so it is to my standards, and that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm going to do moving forward with every community. Eventually, I want to concentrate on. I want to concentrate on building communities that set new standards in this industry. I don't want another facility, or I don't even want to call it a facility, but another community that will be just like down the block. That's not the point. Looking at something and copying it and just putting a different name on the building, that's not what I'm here. I want to look at things and I say, okay, they're doing this. What can I do better? And that's really my vision. And that's what eventually down the road I want to concentrate once as Rayas grows.
Well, it's very exciting. Again, congratulations
Thank you.
to you and to Miss Raya for 30 years. We look forward to the
you.
celebration.
And we'll keep
later
everybody
part this year.
posted.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.